We were told the 925 is a trap. We're right. We were told college is a scam. We're right about that too. That's why 80% of us believe crypto is the only way out. We see the stories of 20-year-old millionaires and we think, that's our one shot to bypass a rigged system. But what if the escape hatch was designed by the same people who built the prison? What if it's not the lifeboat, but just a faster, more efficient way to sink? You're not losing because you're bad at it. You're losing because you were never meant to win. The game has rules, and you've been intentionally kept from learning them. Because while you're distracted by the dream of a 1000x coin, you are missing the hidden mechanism that ensures the house always wins. And that mechanism is far more brutal than you've been led to believe. This wasn't an accident. Our parents and their parents walked out of high school into a world of tangible opportunity. In 1980, the median home price was about $47,000, while the median household income was around $17,000, a 2.7x ratio. A single non-college educated income could buy a house, raise a family, and build a future. For us, that ratio has exploded. The median home is now over $400,000, while median income is around $70,000, a nearly 6x ratio. The game was fundamentally changed right before we were forced to play. The social contract that promised upward mobility in exchange for hard work wasn't just broken. It was systematically dismantled. Pensions were replaced with 401ks, turning retirement from a guarantee into a gamble. Stable careers were replaced by the gig economy. They climbed the ladder and then pulled it up, leaving us with a mountain of debt and the echo of advice that no longer applies. We were born into the fallout. Our first financial lesson was the 2008 crisis, where we watched the architects of the crash get bailed out while our families lost their homes. We learned early who the system is designed to protect. Then, we entered the workforce armed with degrees that cost us a collective $1.7 trillion, only to find that wages, when adjusted for inflation, have barely budged in 40 years. We do everything we were told was right, but every month we fall further behind. That's not a personal failure, it's a mathematical certainty. And in that environment of absolute despair, when the official path is a guaranteed loss, the crypto lottery ticket doesn't just look attractive, feels like the only logical move. It appeared at the precise moment our trust in the old system finally shattered. The system isn't broken, it's working exactly as designed. So who gets rich while we get liquidated? It's not a mystery. First, the crypto exchanges, the digital casinos like Coinbase and Binance, they pocketed over $15 billion in transaction fees last year alone, profiting from every panicked trade, every hopeful buy, every desperate sell. Our emotional volatility is their business model. Then come the venture capitalists and insiders who acquire coins for fractions of a cent and then spend millions on marketing to convince us they're the future. We are their exit strategy. And don't forget the financial influencers paid 2 shill worthless tokens on TikTok while they dumped their holdings behind the scenes. But the biggest winner, the traditional system itself, it loves the distraction. While we're gambling our paychecks on meme coins, we aren't building businesses, buying assets, or demanding change. We're just burning our limited fuel in a sideshow they control. And who loses? We do. Our generation, armed with a few $100s scraped from gig work and side hustles, staring down the barrel of insurmountable student debt and a housing market that's a closed door, what is at stake for them is continued, predictable profit extraction. What's at stake for us is everything. The tiny window of opportunity to build a life our parents took for granted. They need us to believe the crypto lottery is our only shot because it keeps us compliant, hopeful, and, most importantly, spending our capital in their arena. You're not losing because you're stupid. You're losing because no one taught you the real rules. They don't beat us with better predictions. They beat us with superior information, and they've turned that asymmetry into a weapon. That volatility that liquidates us, it's not a bug, it's the feature. The hidden mechanism is invisible because it was built into the very foundation of our education. We were taught advanced algebra, but not how a credit card actually works. We were told compound interest was a magical force for our savings. But they never showed us the brutal math of how it works against us on a student loan, turning a calculated investment into a lifelong anchor. We were handed a credit score system that demands we go into debt to prove we are responsible enough for more debt. Perfectly closed loop, and we are told that saving money is the path to wealth. While inflation, a silent, Government-sanctioned thief erodes our purchasing power by 3 to 5% every single year. It's a system of obfuscation by design, ensuring that by the time we have enough money to play the game, we are already too far behind to ever win. This isn't just bad luck, it's a meticulously designed architecture of wealth extraction. They sold us on crypto as a decentralized revolution, but it operates on the oldest trick in the book: information asymmetry. The insiders, the venture funds, the exchange owners, they don't predict the market, they create it. They know when the engineered pump is coming and, more importantly, when they plan to dump on us. That volatility that liquidates our life savings in minutes, that's not a bug. It's the core feature of their business model. They turned our justified desperation into their liquidity. While we are distracted, gambling our future on a 1000x pipe dream, the real game continues unabated, the relentless transfer of wealth from our labor to their assets. Let me show you the math that proves you are programmed to lose from the very first dollar you invest. Let me show you the math. We're handed a median salary of about $56,000 a year and told to be grateful. That sounds like a number until you run it through the system's grinder. The first cut goes to the government, a combined federal and state tax rate of around 24% on average. That's $13,440 gone before you see a dime. Your annual take-home is now $42,560 divided by 12. Your starting line for survival each month is $3,546. This isn't a wage. This is a carefully calculated allowance designed to keep you on a treadmill. It's just enough to make you think you're moving forward, but the ground is engineered to move faster than you can run. This is the starting block of a race you've already been positioned to lose. And from here, the real extraction begins. From that $3,546, the non-negotiables get their share. The average rent for a modest apartment in a major U.S. city is now cresting $1,800 a month. Half your money is gone just for shelter. Then comes the student loan you were told was a good investment. Another $400 disappears every month, a tribute paid for a piece of paper that didn't unlock the promised door. Add another $300 for the privilege of having health insurance that you pray you never have to use. We're now at $1,046 left. This is what the system has deemed your disposable income. But it's not for you to dispose of, it's for groceries that cost 30% more than 3 years ago, for gas, for a car repair, for the electricity bill. How are you supposed to build wealth when you barely have enough to exist? That remaining $1,046 is a mirage. After you pay for food, utilities, and transportation, let's be generous and say that costs you $800, you are left with $246. That's your reward for a month of your life. That's what you're supposed to use to save for a house, invest for retirement, and handle any emergency. A 20% down payment on a median home is $80,000. At this rate, it would take you over 27 years just to save for the entry fee to the American dream, assuming no emergencies and no inflation. The math doesn't lie. This isn't a path to prosperity. It's a rental agreement for your entire life. This is why the crypto casino looks so damn tempting. When the official game is mathematically rigged for you to lose, a long-shot gamble doesn't feel like a choice. It feels like the only move you have left. The breaking point isn't a dramatic crash. It's a quiet Tuesday when your car's transmission fails. That's a $3,000 repair bill using your savings of $246 a month. That single common life event just erased over a year of your discipline. But you don't have a year of savings, you have maybe 2 months worth. So you put it on a credit card at 22% APR. Now, you're not just back at zero, you're behind. The treadmill didn't just stop, it started running backwards. That's the moment the cold dread sets in. It's the quiet, horrifying realization that you did everything right to. Worked the job, you budgeted, you saved, and one single turn of bad luck revealed that the floor you were standing on was made of paper. This isn't a setback, it's a system feature. This is when the anger should hit you. The anger that comes from understanding this wasn't bad luck, it was the inevitable outcome of a system engineered with absolutely no margin for human error or real life. You were meant to be one unexpected bill away from desperation. Because a desperate person doesn't make rational, long-term decisions, a desperate person buys a lottery ticket, a desperate person looks at the crypto charts and sees not a gamble, but the only possible way out. Your breaking point is the system's most effective advertisement for the very traps it sets, You're not losing because you're stupid. You're losing because the game is designed to push you to a point of emotional exhaustion where you'll willingly hand over your last few dollars for a shot at a miracle. And who benefits from that desperation? Everyone but you. Your landlord benefits when you can't afford to move, allowing them to raise the rent. The credit card company benefits from your high-interest debt. Your employer benefits because a worker in debt is a worker who won't quit, and the crypto exchanges, they feast on it. They built a glittering digital casino right at the end of the road to the American dream, perfectly positioned to catch you the moment you realize the road is a dead end. Your financial ruin is not a bug in their model, it is the product. This is how the game actually works. The system isn't broken, it's a finely tuned engine of wealth transfer, and it is working exactly as designed. So what happens if we keep playing? In the next 1 to 5 years, the cycle accelerates. The small losses on hyped coins turn into credit card debt used to buy the dip. And suddenly that 22% APR is a bigger, more certain drain than your day job's income. The rent increases outpace your salary, but you can't leave because you have no savings for a security deposit. Your emergency fund is a fantasy. You're living on a knife's edge, one car repair or medical bill away from complete financial collapse. This isn't freedom. It's a prison of constant anxiety. A life dictated by the merciless scroll of a chart on a screen. Every month feels like you're treading water, but you can feel the current pulling you under faster and faster. Zoom out to 5 to 15 years, and the real cost becomes terrifyingly clear. It's not the thousands of dollars you lost. It's the decade of compounding you can never get back. That boring index fund you scoffed at would have been quietly building a foundation. Instead, that foundation is gone. The window for homeownership, already a distant dream, closes permanently. The life milestones our parents took for granted, marriage, children's stability, are delayed indefinitely, becoming mathematical impossibilities. You're trapped in the very 9-to-5 job you were trying to escape, but now you have no leverage. You can't negotiate, you can't switch careers, you can't take risks, because you are broke and in debt. The gamble for a quick escape has guaranteed your lifelong servitude, and the long term, 15 to 30 years from now, you become the cautionary tale. A life spent running on a casino's treadmill with nothing to show for it but regret. Retirement isn't an option. Working until you die is the only plan. The generational wealth gap you were trying to leap over has become a canyon, and you've cemented your place at the bottom. You have nothing to pass down. While you were gambling, the people who took your money bought real estate, businesses, the tangible assets that produce real wealth. They bought the casino while you were busy losing at the tables. This is not personal failure. This is systematic extraction. So you stop playing, you stop checking the charts, you stop listening to the advice from anonymous accounts with cartoon avatars. That's not advice. That's a trap. This is the moment your mindset shifts from a gambler looking for a miracle to an architect studying a blueprint. The goal is no longer to get rich quick asterisk. It's to stop being poor forever asterisk. You stop looking for the magic lottery ticket and start asking why you were sold one in the first place. This is hard. It feels like giving up on the only hope you had, but that hope was a carefully constructed illusion. The system made it hard on purpose, but now you see the wires. You see how the trick works? And once you see it, you can't unsee it. The system isn't broken. It's a finely tuned engine of wealth transfer, and it is working exactly as designed. This is where the real work begins. We stop looking for the next 1000x coin and start looking at how the casino owners built the casino. We look at the boring businesses, the cash-flowing assets, the real estate, the tax code. The real secret isn't hidden in a Discord channel. It's buried in the public library's business section, in the dry language of contracts and balance sheets that they count on us being too distracted to ever read. We have to learn the rules they actually play by. This is the pivot from shame to clarity. You are no longer a gambler praying for a win. You are a prisoner who has just found the map of the prison. Now that you know you're the target, how much more of your time, your energy, and your money will you feed into the machine before you decide to start building your own? Because you're done with the casino, now you're ready to learn how wealth is actually built.